5 days. 5 days until we announce the winner of a Mega Evolution Master Set. This thing is massive and it's beautiful. We give away a Master Set every single set release, every single common, every uncommon, every reverse holo, every holo rare, double rare, ultra rare, illustration rare, special illustration rare, even the new Mega Hyper Rares. They're all in here. Everything is done for you, and one lucky subscriber is going to get to win this. Huge shout out to the Unlucky Collector for doing the etch work on the binder. Make sure to give him a follow on Instagram at the Unlucky Collector, but he does the etch work for every single set release. Now I get to do the fun part. So I had to put it together. Did that last weekend at Card Party in 3 days. It was absolutely insane. I hope to have a long form video of that coming out soon. But yeah, if you want to win this, just make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. The chances aren't like easy. Like there's a lot of people who have entered. But it's better than nothing. So hit that subscribe button. And then there's a video you want to leave a like and a comment on. I will put the thumbnail image right here, and then I'll link it in the description. All you got to do is leave a like and a comment on that video. So subscribe, like, comment, boom, you're entered. Come back this upcoming Friday, which is October 17th. And I'm going to announce the winner at the beginning of the video. And then after that, I mean, it's hard to believe, but we already start Phantasmal Flames not too long after. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a crazy couple months. Good luck. Speaking of master sets, this one right here is one of my favorite. This is the Crown Zenith or Crown Zenith, whatever you want to call it, master set right here. This one was a little bit difficult to put together because, I mean, pull rates are great, but there's a lot of cards to collect. And this is one of my favorites because I think the artwork is just, it's sublime. It's amazing. So it's got all the commons and uncommons, obviously, all the reverse holos, and Crown Zenith is split up into 2 sets. So you've got the normal base set, and then you also have the Galarian Gallery subset, which is really no different than a shiny set, like Hidden Fates, Shining Fates, Paldean Fates, that's broken up. Or even if you want to go to like Legendary Treasures and Generations, where they have a normal set and then a Radiant Collection subset. It's kind of like what this is. So you can see we've got everything in here. We've got the Pikachu over here, Secret Rare. And then after the base set is done, we move into the Galarian Gallery set over here, starting with 2 different subsets in the Galarian Gallery, which is basically these yellow bordered cards right here. And we'll talk more about this in the video, that are really smooth. No texturing to them at all. A little bit easier to pull. And then the back half of the Galarian Gallery, I think it's split up 32 cards in the back half, 34 cards in the front half. But the Leafeon V-Star right there kind of starts up the back half, where you've got all these textured cards, which are absolutely amazing. Like, these cards are so cool. And I think that they're going to be cool for a very, very long time. And then it ends with the 4 gold cards, which come together to form an image, you know, of the volcano, which is amazing. Like, when they do those story cards, it's absolutely amazing. The story cards that connect together, you know, no different than like what we saw with the Tepig, Pignite, Emboar, you know, from the black and white era, and then XY era, I think it was Generations, that had the Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard storyline where the Pokemon were growing up, and then Scarlet and Violet base with the Ralts, Kirlia, and Gardevoir. I love the Pokemon cards that tell stories, and a lot of them do. Even just like the half-art Pokemon cards tell stories when you connect 2 of them together. There's so many amazing ones. I've got a binder full of just story cards, you know, that tell a story together from different sets, like the new Marshadow going with the Marshadow from Cosmic Eclipse. It's always fun Easter eggs that you can find. That's a great thing about Pokemon. There's so much to enjoy and so many different areas to look at. It's tough right now. The market is frustrating, and looking at other things, focusing your happy elsewhere, like it's great. Then you learn things you didn't even know existed, and you fall in love with this amazing hobby even more. I want to talk about Crown Zenith. We talked about it a couple months ago, so it's been like 2 months, which isn't long, but Crown Zenith is one of those sets that I feel like I want to make sure that I talk about, and I don't like giving opinions, I don't like giving my thoughts, but I will give you some experience. Back in 2015 is when I started vending regional events, which I love vending regional events. I didn't vend Milwaukee this weekend because it was just too much with Card Party going on last weekend, but I did go to Milwaukee regional events and walked around a little bit, you know, all a few days, and just took things in from a creator standpoint. Huge shout out to Pokemon for hooking me up again with a creator pass to be able to just walk around. Like, I love Pokemon, they're so amazing. But it was great. It was fun just to walk around. You see the growth of the game. You see the growth of the hobby. It's crazy. But I first started vending regional events back in 2015. Now you can vend a Pokemon card show every week. It seems like every week there's another one going on. There's one going on literally this weekend, probably somewhere close to you. And then there's hundreds of other ones across the country. Just so much money being thrown around everywhere, and the excitement and energy, which is great. That part is good. The excitement, the energy, that part is good. But vending regional events was a lot different back then. They weren't profitable. They weren't great. You paid a decent amount for your booth, and your main goal wasn't really to sell cards. It was to buy cards. You wanted to buy as many as you possibly could. But every single card, so 2015 would have been right around the time of, Furious Fists. I don't remember. Maybe Roaring Skies was out at that point. Regardless, every single mega card that you see right now from that era was a $2 card. Every ultra rare, every full art, for the most part, was a $2 card. Everything was super cheap. I remember having cases, and then even like we were so new, having spots next to our cases where we just laid a bunch of cards. Ultra rares all over the place. Bulkier ones, everything was bulkier back then. Everything was worth $2. Even the most playable ones, sometimes you would get some that were a little bit more expensive, like when Landorus EX popped off. From Boundaries Crossed, the regular art would sell for like $20, $25. I think the full art would sell for like $30, $35. Obviously, you had the Shaymins, the Tapu Leles. Those got pretty expensive, $40, $50, $60. Sometimes even more expensive because those were 4-ofs in every deck. But back then, even cards like Mega Ray, the colorless Rayquaza from Roaring Skies, Seismitoad EX, these cards that were super popular in competitive play that everybody was running, they were $2, $3, $4, $5 cards. At the most, everything was super cheap. Now you go back and you look at some of these full arts from the black and white era and the XY era. They're really expensive, really, really expensive. I don't like giving advice. I don't like giving investor advice, because that's not what I do. I'm not an investor. I'm a collector. I'm somebody who owns a store. Like, my job is to keep my store open. I have margins that I'm good with, and that I think it takes to run a successful business. That's why, we charge MSRP. It's for new release stuff that we get charged wholesale prices on, or close to wholesale prices on, I should say, nowadays, because wholesale is pretty much gone. We charge MSRP because the margin's good enough. Wish there was more, but that's, different video, different. We talked about that enough. But running a business for a long time, obviously, like that's my goal, is to make sure that we hit our margins. I think that's obviously super important. But everything else, when it comes to singles nowadays, like I'm not investing long term, because I don't know what things look like in 5 years or 10 years. I've seen the lowest of lows for Pokemon. I've seen where every card is $2. I've seen where every booster box, you're losing money as a store. I've sold boxes at $80. I've sold boxes at $75. I've sold packs at $2. I remember doing Black Friday deals where I would sell booster packs for $2. And the reason I did that, I would take a loss because I had to clear out inventory. I had to clear out inventory so that way I could pay invoices. I had to clear out inventory so that way I could prep for the next set release. And just kept hoping, eventually something would come out where there would be just a small margin where it would all come back around. But that's what a business does. And I don't give out investing advice because I have no idea where things are going to go 5-10 years from now. But I think Crown Zenith is going to be big. And if I go back and look at how things were in 2015, 2014, when I first started vending, the amount of cards that I was paying 50 cents, $1 for, selling for $2, that are worth hundreds now, is crazy. Like opening weekend of Team Up, I was selling the alternate art Latias and Latios, the lovebirds, for $30 on the website. Literally the same price as the holographic rare Jirachi from Team Up, the Stellar Wish Jirachi, which was more expensive, or just about as expensive as that alternate art lovebirds. So I go back and I think, and I look at the popularity of Crown Zenith, and you go back and you look at the most popular sets over the last 5-6 years. Evolving Sky is very popular, 151 very popular, and I think Crown Zenith is probably right up there, and people love to open Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith is one of those sets that people are going to want to open for a very long time. So I like talking about Crown Zenith while some cards are still relatively inexpensive, because I'm trying to think about how everybody else is looking at the market. And to me, Crown Zenith is like, if you're a collector, if you're somebody who likes to master sets, it's still at the point where a lot of the cards aren't that bad. And we're going to focus on the cards that aren't that bad right now as far as price point goes, but are starting to climb. And I don't know, like they could retrace. Some of them could retrace over the next year, year and a half, because there was a lot of Crown Zenith opened. There was a lot of Crown Zenith out there. Got printed to the masses, for sure. But what does it look like in 5 years? What does it look like in 7 years? What does it look like in 10 years? Because going and looking at some of my old sets, as I continue to master every single Pokemon card set, and I look back at sets like Dark Explorers, and I look at sets like, you know, mid-era black and white stuff, Plasma Storm, Plasma Freeze, where I'm like, I had all this. I had all of this, you know, for $3, $4, $5 a piece for each full art, and now you're looking at $100 a piece for full arts, and I'm like, I should have saved those. I should have not sold those off. I should have kept the master set together. I should have done what I do now. Like I keep a master set for myself every set release too. Like I should have done that back then. So I'm just, based off of experience, I think Crown Zenith is important to look at based off of what I'm seeing with the popularity of it. You can disagree with me. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. But let's go look at Crown Zenith. I'm gonna stop rambling. So first and foremost, I think it's really important to look at the pull rates for Crown Zenith because they were significantly different than what we saw in a lot of the Sword and Shield era sets. Now, you also have to remember the Sword and Shield era sets, Crown Zenith was something we didn't really have. It ended the Sword and Shield sets before we got introduced to this Galarian Gallery. Yeah, we had the Trainer Gallery for the 4 sets prior to Crown Zenith, but we didn't really have anything like this. So these pull rates are a little bit confusing, but we're going to focus mostly on the Galarian Gallery and then those 4 gold cards because I think those are the cards that most people like the most. Like if you're going to collect Crown Zenith and you want to master Crown Zenith, yeah, it's got some cool artwork throughout the entirety of the base set, the normal set for Crown Zenith, but the Galarian Gallery is really where a lot of people focus and what a lot of people want. So if we break down the pull rates of how Crown Zenith works for the specific Galarian Gallery front half and back half, remember, you got to break it up into 2 different sections because those textureless, those smooth, those yellow bordered ultra rares, if you want to call them that, from the front half of Galarian Gallery are much more easy to pull than the back half. You're going to pull about 5 per booster box worth of packs. So about 4.72. It's 1 for every like 8 packs. You get the front half of the Galarian Gallery, which is pretty cool. Or one out of every 5 packs you get 1. So you get like 8 out of your booster box. And then out of the back half, it's 1 out of every like 9-ish packs. So you open up a Crown Zenith ETB, for example, you should pull 1 of the back half of that Galarian Gallery. 1 of those textured ultra rares. And you should pull a couple of that front half of the Galarian Gallery. So 2, 2.1, somewhere on there. You can see the per ETB right there. 2.12 is what you're expected for the front half. That means if you want to pull a specific one, let's say you're really chasing that Mew from the Galarian Gallery, you're going to have to open up 160 packs, basically to guarantee yourself. Now, because there are so many of those cards, remember 32 in the front half, or 34 in the front half, 32 in the back half, I think is how it breaks down. Variance is going to play a factor. So chances are you're going to pull duplicates or triplicates. If you decide, hey, I really want to open up 160 packs of Crown Zenith, chances are you're going to pull duplicates or triplicates before you pull something unique that you're missing. So you might pull 2 or 3 Dittos before you finally get to that Mew, or you might pull 2 or 3 of those Mew before you finally get to that Ditto. It's just variance is always going to play a factor when you have sets that big, that bloated. The back half of the Galarian Gallery, this is where pull rates get a little bit more difficult. It's going to take you 293 packs in order to pull a specific one. So if you're really hunting down that Darkrai V-Star or that Entei V or one of those textured cards, one of the back half of the Galarian Gallery cards, it's going to take you 293 packs to pull it, to pull specific. Now with the continued increase of price points for Crown Zenith packs, if you want to pull the entire master set, well, not a part of the master set, let's say, of the front half of the Galarian Gallery, you're going to have to basically invest or open $2,075 worth of packs. That's how many you would have to open in order to pull 160, or that's how much 160 packs cost. So if you want to pull a specific, a unique, specific like Mew, it's going to cost you about $2,075. This is why it's so important to buy singles, especially when you start having inflated pack prices. The cost to pull a back half of the card, so let's say you really want to pull that Darkrai V-Star or that Leafeon V-Star, let's say, it's going to cost you about $3,783 basically to guarantee it. Now that would probably guarantee you all of them. It would guarantee you 30 of them. Again, variance is a big thing, so you'll probably pull duplicates or triplicates. I hope this is all making sense because I'm not doing a good job of communicating it. But it's going to cost you basically $3,783 to pull 30 of those textured Galarian Gallery cards. So yeah, some of them could be duplicates or triplicates. If you pull perfectly, you'll have one of each, but that's expensive. That's a lot. And if you want to pull the gold cards, so the Palkia, the Dialga, the Arceus, the Giratina, it's going to take you 582 packs to pull a specific one. That should give you all 4 of them, but a specific gold card, the cost to pull it based off of pack prices, you're looking at $7,523. Now, obviously, you can buy a master set of Crown Zenith for significantly less than that, which is why it's important not to open packs to chase master sets. Like, it's fun, don't get me wrong, and I think for Phantasmal Flames, as long as you can buy booster packs at MSRP or less, it's not going to be terribly expensive because the set is so much smaller. But Crown Zenith, at the current price point of like $12 a pack or $13 a pack, whatever it is, you're looking at about $7,523 in order to pull all those 4 gold cards. Now, that should give you the entire set because that's the most difficult pull rates. But as you look at pull rates and think years down the road, how much these cards might grow a little bit in price, this is why I'm not saying like from an investor standpoint you should invest in these cards, but if you're somebody who wants to collect a master set, I think paying attention to it now is fairly important because you don't know what things are going to look like in 5 years. We don't know what things are going to look like in 10 years. But I know that the attention to Crown Zenith over the last couple of years, it's going to be something that people love. If we do get another boom in Pokemon 10 years, 15 years down the road, the people who are younger right now who love opening Crown Zenith will probably continue to love opening Crown Zenith and maybe one day share that with their kids. It's just, you don't want to overspend down the road either. And if these cards are out here to collect, everybody's focusing on other stuff. Remember our mantra of like where everybody else is going, you go somewhere else. It's very difficult with money. Like money just, it's gross. Like it's very tough to talk about. But you may want to pay attention to finishing your master set now rather than waiting too long. Here's the Elite Trainer box for Crown Zenith, and we're going to go over things pretty quickly here. The Crown Zenith Elite Trainer box obviously has jumped up, skyrocketed in price. This is the last 3 months worth of data right here. It hit $227.98 recently. Now it's at $220.64, so it's gone up about 21.5% over the last 3 months. And this is with Crown Zenith not getting as much attention as what it did 6 months ago. So during the boom, when things were a little bit more expensive or less expensive, Crown Zenith was being bought out like every day. It was getting bought out like crazy. And it's still going. It's still climbing. So up another 21.5% over the last 3 months. Here's the Crown Zenith Elite Trainer Box Plus. This is the Pokemon Center exclusive ETB for Crown Zenith. So the big thing to remember is the Sword and Shield era Elite Trainer boxes did not come with those promo cards. So when it started with Chilling Reign was the first set where Pokemon did these exclusive Elite Trainer boxes. All you got inside was a different design, and then you got extra booster packs. So that was really the differential hit there. Scarlet and Violet, they started putting in stamped promo cards, which made things a lot different, a lot more like in demand, a lot more desirable for people. But Crown Zenith, the exclusive one, has popped off, and even over the last 3 months, look at what it's done. It's up over 56%, almost 57%. So it's sitting at $450.25. That's a forever high. Like we talked about this when it was $250, how Crown Zenith was like primed, and it's kept going and going and going. It's $287.55 a few months ago. Now it's at $450.25. So if you look at, you want to talk about potential and things like that, you look at where the 151 Pokemon Center exclusive one is, and you think, okay, well, how much do I think Crown Zenith is loved compared to 151? I don't think it's as loved as much, but I think it's pretty close. I think it's definitely a popular set. Now, very cool, unique style of design work. No promo card inside. So obviously do what you want, think what you want. Packs, booster packs, definitely starting to climb even more. Now we did have a buyout that happened, it looks like right around 9.596. You also have to be careful with the rip and chips, the pack breaks and things like that, because they need to get access to the packs. So then all of a sudden you have 400 that sell on a weekly basis. That could change the market completely. When all the packs get bought up on TCG Player because somebody's going to be ripping them on their stream on Whatnot or whatever platform they decide to use for, $20 a piece. And then all of a sudden that shifts the market price. So you got to be really careful with that. That's why it's important to look at singles also. Trade. Like trading is a big thing. If you've got extra cards, especially bulk cards, bulkier cards that are good in competitive play, like Lily's Determination is a big one right now from Mega Evolution. If you've got extra cards, trading for especially these cards that we're going to be looking at here in a second, like that's a big deal. Go to your local league, trade. It is a Pokemon trading card game. Back in the middle of July, $10.69. It did hit $14.08 recently after that buyout happened. Now it's cooled off a little bit, sitting at $12.93, not moving as fast. So you can see selling about 50 copies a day, as opposed to the 100-ish that it was selling back in summer. So it seems like things are backing off a little bit, which is why I do think it's important now to pay attention a little bit. Here's the Secret Rare Pikachu. Not so secret rare. This is not that difficult to pull. This is about 1 out of 100 packs. The good thing is there's only one secret rare in the set. It's just the Pikachu. That's it. But the artwork on it is amazing. I think it's going to be amazing for a long time. You look at this specific card and you compare it. I like to compare it to like the Rainbow Birds from Hidden Fates because I think the artwork, the stained glass ones, because I think the artwork it's not similar, but I think it's similar in demand, if that makes sense. Now, that was guaranteed every Elite Trainer box that gets open. This is not guaranteed every Elite Trainer box that's open. So, but lots of them out there because of lots of Crown Zenith packs being opened. This is at $31.24. But you see the potential of this card because it's been going up and down ever since release. Back in July, it was $16.24, which was already high compared to where it was when it was at $7, $8, $9, $10. It did jump up to $39.09 recently, and it's lost a little bit of that. So it's at $31.24. But you can see, you know, on a daily basis, it's selling 40, 50, 60 copies compared to even the packs. The packs it's selling less of, and this specific Pikachu is selling more than even booster packs. So this is a very in-demand card, and as that secondary market supply starts drying up a little bit, you're going to see this continue to climb, especially down the road, years down the road. There's so many cool and unique Pokemon in it, which makes it a lot more fun for people to have. It's up 80.5%. We've seen a lot of crazy swings on that one. We've also seen a lot of crazy swings on this one. So this is the Giratina V-Star right here. Back in July, it was $155.43. Definitely the most popular card, in my opinion, of the set. A lot of people love chasing this. This is like the heart of that four quadruple story between the Arceus, the Palkia, the Giratina, and then the Dialga that forms that picture. So this is like the heart middle of it. It's up 41% over the last 3 months. So it just recently hit $225.23. Now it's sitting at $226.69 and continuing to climb. So this is going to be a popular card. Remember, pull rates on this one. It's going to take you roughly 600 packs in order to pull this card. Here's the Mewtwo V-Star, which has been bought up like crazy over the past few months. This is the second most expensive card in Crown Zenith. For the longest time, this one was fairly cheap. And I shouldn't say fairly cheap. It was a $40, $50 card. But for the longest time, it was right around there. Now it's skyrocketed for a lot of different reasons. Number one, potential. Number two, buyouts. Number three, pull rates, more expensive prices, things like that. A lot of people coming into the hobby. There's a lot of reasons this card got bought out, manipulated, but sticking at the upward price point and like staying at that price point because the demand continues to be there for it. So back in July, it was $106.71. Well, now it's 91% above that. So it's sitting at $203.74, which is just off of its all-time high, which was $213.16. So continue to climb, and it's like I said, it's moved into the second slot, second most expensive card in Crown Zenith, which is continuing to climb. It is really cool. It is very, very cool. It's just a lot of people had opportunity to buy it when it was $60, $70. So part of it is probably, a lot of it probably is manipulation, but continuing to climb because it is such a desired card. Here we're going to talk about the lower end of the trainer or the Galarian Gallery, like this Pikachu right here, which continues to be very popular. If you look at quantity of sales, quantity of sales is just as important as the price point that it's selling at, because if it's still selling consistent copies, even at higher price points, that demand continues to be there. So this Pikachu, for example, in April of 2025 was $8.96, selling around 80 copies a week, 80 to 90, sometimes a little bit more, all the way up until September. Well, September, you can see it was at $16 a copy. So it was double that price point, but still selling 80, 90, 100 copies a week. Now it's backed off a little bit, which is why that price point has gone down a little bit. It hit $29.30 recently, so it's backed off about 10%. But now you can see another higher quantity sold, so back up to 80 copies being sold. So right around that $26, $27 mark, it looks like people are still comfortable paying that for this card. So it's up 183% at $26.50 right now, right off of its all-time high. And one of the more expensive of the Galarian Gallery, the most expensive one, is the Mew. The Cynthia's Ambition, this one a little bit under the radar, but it's gone up quite a bit. The full art trainers are not getting the love that they used to get, and I think that's very important. When we had this giant rush of people during the pandemic, full art trainers at one point in time exploded in price. They were getting bought out left and right. I mean, every full art trainer was getting bought out like crazy. Now you don't have that, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So there's a lot of full art trainers that are super inexpensive. If that's your jam and you like collecting full art trainers, full art supporters, you may want to start looking at some of them now, especially from the Sword and Shield era, because they are really inexpensive right now. And we've seen what the market can do when it gets manipulated. So just be warned about that. I'm not saying you should overspend or overinvest or anything like that. Just be careful. Cynthia's Ambition in June was $14.30. You can see what it's done now. Even at the higher price point, still selling 40, 50, 60 copies. Now it's all the way up to $19.11, so up about 20.5%. The Lapras has lost a little bit, but still selling quite a few copies. And a really cool looking card with the artwork and the Pokemon behind it. You've got Pelipper back there. You've got Mantike back there. You've got Spheal back there. You've got Lumineon, it looks like. I mean, you've got a lot of really cool Pokemon in this, with obviously the focus being on Lapras, and you've got 2 Lapras, and it's beautiful. Wingull is back there. In April, this was sitting at $5.79, relatively consistent up until September, and still selling, a lot of copies at it. It hit $8, and then all of a sudden exploded as it did get bought up a little bit more. But now it's still selling even at the higher price point. So it did back off a little bit now. It's lost about 20% of its value, but still sitting at $16.77. That's about 146% increase. So I would keep an eye on this one, especially if you need it for your master set. Let's say it drops another 10, 15, 20%. And then might be the time to pick it up and start really filling out your Crown Zenith master set before things get, too late down the road. In April of 2025, Latias was sitting at $5.89. Again, really consistent up until September, and then really took off once those buyouts started happening, like what we saw with a lot of these other ones. It's jumped up about 146%. It's retraced a little bit, losing about 10% right now. Currently sitting at $15.67. Another one to keep an eye on moving forward. The Deoxys has continued to climb. This one hasn't really retraced at all yet. It's all the way up to $12.15. So this one's up about 140%. You can see in July it was sitting at $4.64. So it's almost tripled in price over these last 3 months, and the sales volume stays consistent, 80, 90, 100 on a daily basis, or every week or so. We're looking at 6 months of data right now, but still very consistent as far as sales volume goes, and at higher price points as well. So again, another very cool card that's currently selling for $12. The Keldeo with the Northern Lights behind it is absolutely beautiful. In June, it was sitting at $4.38. Consistent growth up until September. That's when those buyouts started happening. You see a lot more cards sell. It jumped up to $11.97. Now it's backed off again, lost about 10%, like what we saw with a lot of these other ones, except for the Deoxys, sitting at about 120.5% growth, up to about $11 right now, $10.98. Another one that maybe you want to keep an eye on. It could drop another 10, 20%, and then maybe that might be time where you're like, okay, well, I want to pull the trigger on this one now, because in 5 years, I want to make sure that I have the master set done. I don't want to have to worry about it 5 years down the road when I'm collecting, whatever the 35th anniversary set is, at that time, or whatever the next big thing is at that time. Here's the Magmortar. You can see getting bought up a little bit recently. Back in April of 2025 was at $4.64. Slow growth, again, up until about August, and then you start seeing a little bit more copies selling on a weekly basis. Now it's jumped up about 56%, 55.5%, so it's sitting at $8.23, right off of its high point of $8.60. And then the last one we're going to look at is the Rayquaza VMAX. It's also, the standard set as well, the normal base set of Crown Zenith as well. You've got the Radiant Charizard, you've got Rayquaza VMAX. VMAXs are going to be a big deal moving forward, because we don't have them anymore. And all the times, it's always like, I wish we had those VMAXs back. I wish we had V-Stars back. I wish we had Megas. I wish we had tag teams. Like, there was a time when Megas came out, people were sick of Megas. There was a time when tag teams came out, people didn't like tag teams. Primes, people didn't like primes. And it took years for that niche to start forming and people to miss what they no longer had. That's, that's life. That's life all the time. VMAXs, people were ready for them to be done, but down the road, people are going to go back and they're like, wow, I miss those VMAXs. I miss VMAXs. That was such a fun gen, such a fun era, so much buzz, so much excitement. And the most popular VMAXs, the most popular Pokemon are going to really start climbing. So this Rayquaza VMAX already starting. You can see in June, it was a $2.63 card, and it's grown tremendously over the past 6 months. Now it's up 108%, sitting at $6.76. Obviously, there's 2 Rayquaza VMAXs kind of doing the same thing, so I wanted to highlight those as well. Obviously, you should do what's best with your collection dollars. Everybody should budget properly. Don't overspend, especially ripping packs, especially right now. Take your time, trade, do things the right way, because that's going to increase your longevity, and I promise making smarter decisions, wiser decisions now will help long term, help you collect long term moving forward, let your collection grow itself. I think is really, really important. The last thing you want to do is, I want you to learn from my mistakes. Like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when I was vending at events and I didn't focus on, finishing my master sets then and things like that when they released, or when they were in print still, and then seeing this cycle happen, where things just kind of take off, and then it's regret where I'm like, I should have
I should have stayed with those cards then rather than move off of them. Everything was $2 back then. You know, it's a lot different of a world now. So just be careful out there. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. It goes a long way for the algorithm. But ultimately, thank you just for being here. I love you guys. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Until next time, peace.